All right, guys, we're in Exodus 34 today, and basically, when we get to verse 10, God is speaking to Moses, and he makes a covenant with him, and he said, "Behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation, and in all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee." And then he goes on in verse 11 and says, "Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite." And then he goes on to lay out the parameters of the covenant. Now, a covenant is an agreement that basically says between God, and in this case, he's talking to Moses and to the Israelites. He says, if you do this, I'll do this, and it's a bilateral agreement. And this is something that I think we have a tendency to just somewhat take for granted, and a lot of it has to do with particularly the Western view of Christianity, where it has become so liberal and so muddied. Uh, kind of anything goes. Terms have been redefined. All of a sudden, being loving means letting your kids smoke meth, and just all kinds of retarded stuff. Uh, and what we have a tendency to do, those of us who actually care about our relationship with God, we have a tendency to let that pendulum swing back to the right, to where now all of a sudden we're placing ourselves under covenants that we find out in Jeremiah 31:31 that these covenants were done away with. And um, in Jeremiah 31:31, he says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord." And then if you go forward to Hebrews chapter 8 and chapter 9, in Hebrews 8, the writer of Hebrews literally quotes the passage from Jeremiah, saying that Jesus coming and that his fulfilling of things and stuff is the new covenant that Jeremiah was speaking of. And I say all that to say this. Jesus said that the path was going to be narrow, and we see this also in the book from John Bunyan, Pilgrim's Progress. You can see it. There's a movie on YouTube. You can watch it if you want to do that instead. But Christian, the main character of the book, starts on this path and he goes down this road, thus signifying his Christian life. And in the end, basically what happens is, as he's going down the road, there's opportunities for him to get drawn off the road, to the left, and he gets off into, just philosophy and all kinds of different things like this. You can watch the movie. But one of the other things that drew him off of the path was a guy named Mr. Legalism. And it was the tendency, in the book, it's an individual, but it signifies our tendency to allow that pendulum to swing so far to the right, where now all of a sudden we're placing the basis of our relationship based on our righteousness and our works, and not on Jesus. And Jesus said that that the road is narrow, just as it was in Pilgrim's Progress. It's a narrow road, and that there's tons of opportunity to get drawn off to the left and to get into liberalism, and that there's also opportunities to get off into the right, and now you're getting into legalism and stuff. And the straight path, the narrow path, Jesus said that he was the gate. He is our ultimate destination. He is where our focus should be. So I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys this morning. You guys, kind of look at that, give me your thoughts in the comments. All right? God bless.